Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Sanderlanche podcast. Today, we read chapters 117 through 119 of Oathbringer, Book 3 of the Stormlight Archive. That is out of 122 chapters in this book, so we are right there at the end of the list, as it were. In these chapters, things are looking really grim. I mean, they were looking grim at the end of the last set that we recorded for, and they start out continuing to look grim here. But by the end of this section, there's some bright spots. I wouldn't say the tide has turned or anything, but there's some good things happening. Along the way, we get the near death of Renarin, the near fall of Dalinar, the near death of Seth and Lift. Like, we could have ended at the end of what that would have been like at the end of chapter 118. And at the end of the chapter is when it starts to take the turn. So I guess we wouldn't have been horrible to end at the end of 118. At the end of 117 probably would have been worse. Anyway, I'm Data, and with me today is
Joe,
Jack,
Jamie.
So hang on to something, everybody. The Sanderlanche is about to begin.
Yearnings intertwined, the golden age in ashes once again. Under stirring stars, in the burning shards, kindle fragments of the falling rain. So look to the break of dawn, to the break of dawn. Stronger together now.
So yeah, I feel like an intense set of chapters this time, but what did you guys think of these 3 chapters?
oh man, when you say intense, you're not joking. This is some crazy stuff that's going on. No, I really enjoyed these chapters. The quick cuts again, like very, very small criticism here. The quick cuts are a little jarring still. Like I'm like, oh wait, what? But other than that, I mean, it's just great stuff. The Dalinar turn and like him becoming super awesome. I'm just like, yeah, I'm here for all of this. Seth becoming part of Dalinar's like group. I don't know how well he's going to be he's going to be liked. And if we ever wanted to see the power of Nightblood on display, man, we didn't get it in Warbreaker, but we sure got it in this. That was pretty cool. Also terrifying. But no, all good stuff. Lift is there too. Okay, cool, Lift. I actually think she was pretty fun in this chapter. She wasn't overly annoying. Her quips were actually some good comic relief as opposed to just being like, oh god, here we go again. So no, I enjoyed every bit of this. A little bit of a bummer that Kaladin's kind of like, I can't say the words, but other than that, Teft also seems maybe like he's making a turnaround, saying some words. So definitely excited. It was kind of a scary thing there for a second, right? Odium maybe going to turn Dalinar, and then Dalinar kind of fighting through it. So good stuff. Really enjoyed it.
I mean, you guys had some theories that Dalinar might, turn at some point in the book. So I don't know if that looked potentially very serious to you guys.
Yeah, and I mean, we're getting close to the end, so like, it was totally something in my mind that in that moment I was like, no, I don't want that to happen. But it, at the same time, in the back of my head, I was like, it could happen. Like, this could be where the book is going. We don't know. And then we're just set up right at the end for like an Amram Kaladin showdown, which I'm like, oh yeah, let's do this. This guy deserves a whooping from our man Kaladin.
It does seem like we're setting. Yeah, no, it's finally Dalinar's like, yeah, I think you got escort us out there. Why don't you go ahead?
He's like, yeah, my pleasure.
Also, I like you point out how is Dalinar's team going to feel about Seth? They really took it in stride that the supposedly dead guy showed up and is like, I'm on your team now.
Yeah, it's like, oh hey, look, it's that guy. He's not dead. Okay,
we got bigger issues to deal with right now, I suppose. But let's circle back.
weren't you dead?
Yeah, I want somebody to say that. Like, Lift knows he wasn't dead already, so she didn't say it. But I want somebody to be like, didn't I kill you? Aren't you? Like Kaladin's like, didn't I kill you? He's like, nah. Yeah, well, actually, yeah, but
it sucked. I got better.
Yeah, he's like, now I got this weird like shadow thing following me. It's pretty awesome, actually. Makes me look super badass.
Also, just just the way he comes back in and is like, oh yeah, like we follow the same master. And it's like, but you haven't had that conversation with anyone yet. It's like assuming you got the job without going for the interview.
That's a really good point. Yep, I hadn't considered that.
Yeah, he's like, look, you're gonna want me. Like, who wouldn't want this guy?
I am a natural fit for your team.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, come on. Look what I just did. I just took out like half this army. I'm a guy who's gonna do exactly what you say when you say it at all times. You want this on your team.
We're probably not going to turn it down right this second for sure.
No.
Yeah, look, you want to pitch in, that's fine, but when this is all over, maybe we should chat.
Yeah, might be. Just a thought. Put that out there. Yeah. Also, I love you're like Dalinar became super awesome, and I was just like, it sounds like Lift. Just like, hey, look how it's awesome.
Yeah, I mean, why else would I have said it like that, right? Right? Well, because I don't have the words to describe what actually is happening to him because I don't know.
Yeah.
They like even the Stormfather's like, what did you just do?
Yeah, like you're not supposed to be able to do that. What's going on?
Yeah, only gods can do that.
What a good question. What is going on, Stormfather?
Yeah, it's like finally you're willing to say something, but you have no idea what to say, Stormfather. Way to go.
I think most of this book has been establishing Stormfather doesn't know everything, and we should just be comfortable with that by now.
Well, either he doesn't know everything or he refuses to tell us the things he does know.
That is very true. That is an excellent point. Yes. So these chapters. Chaos everywhere. It's fantastic stuff. I remember, I read this like immediately after we recorded the last one, which was a while ago. And was it the end of the first chapter where it's like, yeah, and that's right at that moment where Odium says to Dalinar, it's like, all right, you're my champion. I'm like, hang on, can he do that? Like, Dalinar was the one who challenged him. How can he pick the guy who challenged him to represent him? Who would then be the opposing champion? Like, that doesn't seem fair. Like, I
Right?
feel like Odium's just, you know, he's supposed to be bound by rules. How is that a rule? That was very confusing to me. But following that, he's being beaten down. I'll admit, I don't think the Stormlight series as a whole has grabbed me in the way that Mistborn did emotionally up until this point, when Dalinar is on his knees and he's got the weight of Odium crushing him, telling him come to the dark side, and he stands up and goes, "No, you cannot have my pain." I'll admit I got a bit teary in that moment. That was probably my favorite moment from this series so far, I think, from Stormlight. That was just phenomenal. With everything else going on, it's just sort of hard to remember, like everything else that was happening. Adolin doing his thing. Like, I feel like we really barely touched Adolin. Like, he got stabbed.
Yep. That's the thing that happened.
That's a hell of a thing. Yep. It's like, so like Nail is there. So it's like, oh, so there's actually at least 3 of the heralds in this moment, because, you know, Ash is there. She's found Talon, and they've kind of just linked up as well. I'm like, okay, cool. Is Nail going to see his old friends and goes like, I'm sorry? I don't know. There's just so much going on. Seth joining the crew, I'm all for it, because more Seth is never a bad thing. I did think it was weird that Yasna, of all people, is the one who goes, fuck's he doing here? If for no other reason, then Yasna's never met him before. At best, she caught a glimpse of him the night Gavilar died, but she wasn't around for like the battle at the end of Words of Radiance. I'm like, he's changed his getup. How do you know who he is?
Yeah, I think everybody knows the assassin. I mean, come on, he's so distinguishable. Plus, he killed her dad. She probably knows quite a bit about him.
Well, yeah, but did anyone identify that was him when she spoke up? Because she's never seen him before, and it's like he's just, oh, we got this random bald shin dude here. That's the assassin in white. Fucking what?
Is he still wearing white? I don't even remember now.
Oh, isn't he wearing like the Skybreaker acolyte outfit?
Maybe. Yeah. Although I feel like that was white, because there was the whole thing where you were getting hit with different paint colors and they had to record how many you were hit with.
Yeah. Okay. Right. So maybe that's the thing. In which case, it's like, well, not everyone wearing white is the assassin.
Yeah, not every shin wearing white is. Yeah, it's pretty racist, dude.
But yeah, it's like in character for Yasna to be the one to bring that up, but I'm like, you've never met him. How do you know that? But yeah, okay, that makes a bit more sense. And apparently Odium and Amaram are old buddies, which Didn't think you could sink any lower, Amaram, but here we are. You twat.
I thought you were going to say, didn't think you could sink any lower, Odium. But okay,
I
fair.
mean, that too. It's like your recruiting stands have really dropped, Odium.
Yep.
Yeah. But yes, no, like absolute breakneck chapters with the pace we're going through. Loved everything. And since I've read it, I'm just like, all right, we need to record so I can read the next bit because I really want to know what's happening next.
Yep, fair. Well, at least we don't have another big break after this one, so.
Don't jinx it.
Oh, yeah, okay. But no, the "you cannot have my pain" moment is definitely in the fandom in contention for the overall like one best hardest hitting moment. It's quite possibly between that and Honor's Dead, but I'll see what I can do. At least in the stuff that we've read so far. I don't want to open up any other possibilities there, but yeah, those two out of these three books are probably in contention for the fan favorite moment. So I can agree. There's emotional, serious overtones there.
I can see that. I think Honor is dead, but I'll see what I can do. It's a very like both lines are said right before monumental stuff happening. But I feel like Kaladin's one is a very cold action hero, sort of like I'm jumping into the fray thing. But this one is much more emotional. It has the weight of Dalinar just going. It's like I am the sum of my failures and my successes, and you can't. Like I tried to run from them once before, and I had them taken away. Like I'm not doing that again. I will own my failures in the past. I will try and do better. It had all of that behind it. It just felt like the weight of everything Dalinar has been through in this book specifically just culminated in that one line, and he yelled it out. And it's like that's been his whole theme. It's like try and do better, and that's what this line was. And I'm just like, fuck yeah,
Yeah,
I love it. Yep.
It is an amazing moment for the character and in general. And I also, not to bring it up for no reason, but I also love the contrast that it provides between another character who is very much like, oh, nothing's my fault. The stuff I do, it's all somebody else's fault. And I'm just like, see, these are the two ways that you can approach this, and one of them is clearly way more admirable.
Yeah. Let's just put it out there. Moash did everything wrong.
Yep. Fuck that guy. Hopefully he's not here. I don't think he's here, but everyone else,
So
every
many
other
people
character
are
seems to
here.
be here.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would think he's still around Kolinar, but who knows?
Yeah. You know what? Maybe, hopefully, we just cut to Kolinar, and it's like Moash's like neck has been snapped, and Axis the Collector, hero of us all, is just standing above the body, just gone. Well, all done.
Time to collect
everybody
some
a favor.
bones.
I needed to see a death spren.
Apparently those are very hard to see. So yeah, okay.
Yeah, look, I think everyone's touched on everything really with just the amount that's happening in these chapters. I was trying to write it down to keep track of it in my head, and the amount of darting around, I've just got like 2 pages of this is what's happening, and then this happened, and then this happened. So it's intense, but as you all know, definitely my favorite part of the book. I like the switching perspectives a lot. I feel like it keeps me on my toes. Although when you get the switching perspective and it just all it does is build suspense, you're like, I really want to know what happens next. And it's just like, I think when we were building up to that confrontation between Yasna and Renar, and it didn't necessarily, I don't know that it didn't go the way I thought it would. I honestly can't even remember what I was thinking going into it. I was like, it doesn't look good. I feel like Yasna probably would, but I don't want her to. And I don't know. I was happy with the outcome. You know, I've certainly got questions for the characters, but obviously we're not going to get answers to those until towards I'm hoping towards the end of the book, but realistically, probably book 6 or whatever, you know. Everything's got to take its time. I think what I was not prepared for was Adolin to get wounded, and I really thought for a second we were going to lose him, and especially when Kaladin couldn't say the words, I was like, no, I don't want to lose Adolin. I love Adolin. We love Adolin. Keep him here. Unfortunately, he's totally fine, so that's good. The Dalinar stuff, yeah, that was really powerful moment. Obviously, pulling those together, actual physical power, but that emotional power. That all I knew, because I read it after Dak, and Dak was like, "Yeah, I got emotional," and I was like, "That's it, Renarin's dead." And I read it and I was like, okay, I absolutely see why that got him. It was very well done. And especially the toll of having to go through Evie's death again. Like we know how traumatic that was, and when he got his memories back, and how awful that was, and to then go through it while he's also juggling what he's currently going through with Odium. That it was hard to read, and because you kind of expecting like how can anyone get past this? Like the grief he felt the first time, like when it actually happened, and then the spiral he went through getting his memories back, and now having to go through it again. It was just like this is it, like this is going to be his downfall for sure, and he came all the stronger, and I couldn't believe it counted him for a second. He's very, very strong. Clearly he's Unity, so I really like these chapters. There's so much to go through. I thought Lift was great, Seth was great. I didn't get a lot of Venley, but honestly that was okay. Yeah, I'm really excited that we're going to get to have a go at Amaram. I think I said last time we recorded that I don't want him to. I sort of don't want him to be defeated under Odium's influence, and I think he's still under Odium's influence, but to actually like he's now then kind of made that conscious choice of Downer. I'm not going with Downer. I'm going to stay with Odium. So I'm like, okay, if they take you out now, I'm okay with this. I'm on board as long as they get a chance to do it, and it's not just he's gone and felt. Because I think I was like, as much as I want to see the back of him, I would feel cheated out of it a bit if it wasn't of his own like will to be there. But he clearly is totally fine with it. So yeah, we're going to look forward to hopefully defeating that guy. Excited for Seth. Excited for everyone to be back in one place. Really glad Navani got her moment a little bit as well, using that pain. I'm not sure how you say it. Also, just like the comment of, yeah, she knows how it feels because she tested it out on herself first. I mean, I get it, scientific method, or yeah, sure, whatever. But oh god, of course you did. Of course you tested that on yourself. You are a badass, Navani.
Yeah, that's dedication. Yeah.
Yeah. You feel like needles in your eyes. Oh, okay. It's cool. But yeah, I like that she was able to free them because that wasn't looking too great there before. What else? So much stuff. I think we jump into it. Make comments on the way.
Yeah, I like what you said about Amaram. It wouldn't, if he was just mind controlled like an Inquisitor from Mistborn, it wouldn't feel like as good if we beat him. So I can definitely see what you mean.
Yeah, he's made his bed now. Very good. Off you go.
Now
And
Kaladin
defeat.
can kill you. It's all good.
Yeah. Let him loose.
You pointed out the moment where Dalinar goes like, "I am Unity," and I wanted to take that moment to note that I don't know if you guys listen at all to the I know Dak has a playlist of the songs that we choose for each book, but there is one of the reasons I chose the song for this one is because one of the parts in there is Unity will bring the upper hand, and I was like, oh, that feels like that reminds me of that moment with Dalinar, so I'm going to put that in there. So fun Easter egg for people who most people listening probably knew that from the beginning. So
I've just opened that playlist and I don't think this song, like this book's song, is on there.
Uh-oh.
Might need to fix that.
Gotta get on that, yeah. And then I love last time, Jamie, when we finished up, you were talking about like, I don't know what's going to happen with Renarin and Yasna. And I feel like the first time I read through it, I would absolutely believe that she was going to kill this guy. And so I agree that it may be unexpected, but I'm also happy with that outcome. Like, I don't want to see something happen to Renarin.
Yeah. Sort of gives him another opportunity to, I guess, one, be honest about what he knows, and then find a way out of it. And, is he actually radiant? Has this friend been corrupted? Has it taken the place of another? Like, I don't know. I'm sort of excited to see where his storyline goes as well.
Yeah, for sure. Because if we're not going to kill him, then that means that there's lots we can learn here. And he may take a very different path from some of the other, or some of the Radiants, I guess I would say. So that's just more interesting story to tell, I think. All right. I guess let's get into these chapters, y'all. The first epigraph is still from the Isla Stelle, which we've already read, so I don't know that we need to jump into that. But we start with Dalinar walking through the wall, the hole in the wall, where we saw him headed last time. And Amram's army's out there, and so it doesn't look great. And there's 2 Thunderclasts also out there ready to fight. And all we've got is Dalinar. And then all of a sudden it's like, so, what's the plan? And he looks, and there's Lift. And she's like, so what's wrong with your army? And he goes, they're his now. And she says, oh, did you forget to feed them?
Classic Lift, am I right?
I mean, yeah. And she's like, so were you were going to fight all of them by yourself with a book? And he goes, no, there's someone else for me to fight here. And she's like, with a book? Yes. Sure, all right, why not? What do you want? She just goes with the flow.
Well, I feel like Dalinar is just like he just gets on her wavelength, and so she accepts it and just goes with it. And I find she's actually been a lot less insufferable this book because Dalinar's just he doesn't care that she's odd. He just goes with it, and so she just goes with it, and so it's actually made their dynamic really cute. And I like the 2 of them together.
He does kind of play it completely straight with her when she's like, oh, did you forget to feed them? He doesn't go like, what? He's just like, yeah, maybe I didn't try hard enough. Yeah, he what a great straight man.
Yeah, he's just like, yeah, I'll just go with it. And so does she, and it's great.
And then my favorite line of the chapter where he asks her if she has a weapon and she says, nope, can't read.
Yeah. So she's still on books. It's good.
And she's like, oh yeah, no, wait, I got one of these. And materializes her shard blade. Oh wait, no, it's not a blade, it's a pole. And she says Wendell doesn't like hurting people. And he's just like,
Power pole extend.
yeah, I mean, right? I feel like Goku killed some people with that power pole, so.
Oh yeah, he killed tons of people when he was a kid. He had no mercy.
Hardcore kid, yeah.
Yeah, in the first episode. Yeah, in the first episode, he kills a dinosaur with that power pole.
Jesus.
Hardcore. So he tells Lift, a fused escaped from the city with a big ruby. I don't know why they want it, but I don't want to find out, so can you get it back? She's like, yeah, easy. He goes, well, I mean, you'll find out that she can move like you can. And she's like, yeah, whatever, easy. Relax, Grandpa. Steal the rock. I can do it. It's just the 2 of us then? And he says yes. And she's right. Good luck with the army. And she takes off. Like, she takes off before he can even... He's like, no, it's not the army that worries me. I feel like maybe it should worry you a little bit, Dalinar, but...
Well, I mean, what's worse, the army of mortals or the god walking towards you?
Yeah, I was going to say, there is a god on the field, so I can understand that being your number one concern, yeah.
Yeah.
God on the field? I don't know. I just felt like saying that.
And then Odium is talking to one of his fused and says, tell Yusha I want her to stay out here and guard the prison. Kai Garnis did well destroying the wall. Tell her to return to the city and climb toward the Oath Gate. We can... she's to destroy it and recover the gemstones. We can rebuild it as long as the Spren aren't compromised. So there's information we didn't have. And I guess those are the names of the Thunderclasts because they run off to talk to them. But I feel like that begs the question, what prison is one of the Thunderclasts guarding?
Yeah, I've stopped trying to figure out what Odium's talking about. He knows stuff I don't know, and it's just annoying.
We might get context later. We might not.
Yeah, this is me saying I give up, book. You just do your thing, and I'm just here for the ride.
That is how the Sanderlanche tends to go. Yeah, we're just along for the ride.
In this moment, I picked up a new casting for Odium in live action. The fella who played Davos in Game of Thrones, Liam Cunningham.
Okay, hold on.
Yeah.
Since I did not watch Game of Thrones, not William Shatner. What the?
Liam.
Also a good choice. It's like, I'll take your pain, Dalinar. Give it all to me.
Liam Cunningham, Irish actor. Okay, yeah, I've seen that guy and stuff. All right.
Yeah. There's a Brendan Gleeson movie where he's one of the main villains called The Guard. Brilliant movie. Highly recommend. Utterly hilarious. Brendan Gleeson and Don Cheadle as a double act.
Ooh.
But yeah, Liam Cunningham is one of the villains, and he's just like, that sort of fake friendly but massive jerk kind of energy. And it's like when Odium just puts both hands on his scepter and just leans forward with a big smile. I'm like, oh fuck, it's him.
I like this. Okay, yeah. Yeah, Odium's like, okay, we're here, Dalinar. Are you ready? And Dalinar says yes. And he's like, okay, let's begin. Which seems like a weird thing to say in that moment, but okay, yeah.
Mm.
And we cut back to our friends in Shadesmar, and Adolin is trying to keep these guys busy, but unfortunately, they're the fused are clever enough to, like, one of them throws some blood or something at the illusions, and it goes through the fake people and hits Adolin and does not go through him. So, somewhat clever, and Adolin gets stabbed pretty good. I also like the moment where he has to fall back on Zahel's lessons about fighting knife to spear.
Yeah, I like it a lot till it doesn't work.
Yeah, and he notes that Jakimov had refused that training, laughing at the idea Shardbearer would ever have to fight like that. But he is blessing Zahel. Thank you for making me do this.
In fairness, it says he died 7 times out of 10, so he had it wasn't a completely hopeless situation.
Yeah, 30%. It could be worse.
Better than 0.
Wow. But yeah, he gets stabbed in the gut pretty bad and starts lurching towards Shallan. Meanwhile, Shallan is trying to trick the spren of the gate. Sorry,
you forgot his sword attacked the personification of his sword jumped on the fuse who stabbed him and just went wild. And he's like, "Thank you."
Oh yeah. His dead eye, as they're called, is like raking nails across the fused's face.
See, she does like him.
Yeah, she has feelings. Just apparently can't express very much. But yeah, Shallan is failing to trick the gate spren into letting them through, and they're like, "Look, we would let you through if we could, but it's not a matter of decision. It's like we have to do this. The path is closed." And then there's a weird moment where like a wall appears from her stormlight out of her pocket. And she's like, "What the hell?" And it was one of the beads that she'd taken, and she'd somehow like materialized the wall here. And Adolin makes it over here. He's bleeding. Pattern says he saw Kaladin fall into the beads somewhere over there. And Shallan's like, "Okay, here we go. Take a deep breath, Adolin," and they jump off into the beads. But yeah, things aren't going well there. Then we get Lift, who became awesome and is trying to chase down this Voidbringer. And of course, Wendell is put upon as ever. He's like, "I don't like this." And she's like, "You don't like nothing." "Now that is not true, mistress. I like that nice town we passed in Azir. The one that was deserted? So peaceful." This guy. And Lift is like, "Hey, you think the marble colorings are on all of their parts?" And he's like, "Does that matter?" And she's like, "Maybe not now.
God.
So it might matter later,
Ask Yasna sometime, Lift. I'm sure she'll be able to tell you.
She knows these things. And then she catches up to this lady who sees her and then takes off, sliding across the ground as if she were standing on oil, it says. And Lift's like, "Well, starve me. She's more awesome than I am." And Wendell, once again, tries to get technical. He's like, "I mean, do you have to use that term?" "Yes, she has access to the surge of..." And Lift's like, "Shut up. Can you follow her? I don't need to know the fancy words." And Lift is still relegated to like moving around on her knees. She's, as we saw in Edge Dancer, she's not real good at like on her feet gliding yet. And we cut to Seth and Nail. And Seth's like, or I'm sorry, Nail says, "Yeah, the Skybreakers will swear to the Dawn Singers and their law. Will you join us?" And Seth is like, he doesn't seem to want to, but he's considering it. He's like, "I don't really have a choice, I guess, do I?" And Nightblood comes in. He's like, "Come on, when are we going to fight somebody? You sure do like talking, even more than Vasher." And he could go on and on and on. And Seth asks, like, "Okay, when I swear the third ideal, can I choose a person as the thing I obey and not the law?" And Nail's like, "Yeah, actually, some of the Skybreakers follow me, and that'll probably make the transition easier for them. But I don't suggest it. I feel like I'm getting worse."
That's ominous.
Right? Yeah.
Potentially an opportunity here for Nail to be like, "And who is it you'd like to follow?"
Right?
Missed opportunity.
And I don't know if maybe Nail can sense it, because Seth is watching down there as a man in blue steps out. And Nail says, like, "You followed men before, and they caused you pain." And Seth's like, "Or maybe I was forced to follow the wrong men." So I don't know, did you guys pick up at that point where that was going?
Yeah, he was looking at the man in blue and just like, "Oh, I followed the wrong guy."
Yeah.
So I was like, well, we can see what's happening here.
Yeah. And we cut back to Shadesmar, where Kaladin is drowning in beads. But Shallan and Adolin get to him under the beads, and they make Shallan makes like a tunnely thing, and they can't figure out what they're going to do now. There's nowhere for us to go. We got no more Stormlight. And Kaladin's just like, no, I can't fail him. And Syl says, the words, Kaladin. So it's really looking like we're coming to another one of those Kaladin saves the day moments by swearing an oath. And then we're back with Odium and Dalinar. We really are jumping around a lot. And Odium's just like, hey, you should really be proud of what you've accomplished with this coalition. I'm certainly proud of you. And I feel like Dalinar kind of comes out of nowhere. He's like, I want a test of champions. I demand that we have a contest. And he knows that he has nothing to offer Odium except for one possibility. He's like, even if you kill us, it's not going to free you. Whatever happens, you'll still be trapped here. So what if the contest is, if you win, we let you go free. And if we win, you let us live. And Odium says, as the bondsmith, you can offer that deal. But is that really what you want? Then back to Lift as she's chasing this lady down and cannot catch up to her. And not only that, but the Thunderclast is at one of the Thunderclasts out here and starts like trying to push her. So that's not good either. And then something falls out of the sky, trailing black smoke, both black and white, glowing like a star. And just as the Thunderclast is about to squish her, whatever the thing is goes right through its head, sending out an explosion of black smoke, and the two halves of the monster fall to each side and then burn away, evaporating into blackness. So yeah, that's another one of those very cinematic moments.
That's the sort of thing that makes you wonder, like, did Odium sort of look up and just go, what the fuck was that?
Right?
Because I mean,
yeah, did he?
Odium wouldn't have context for Nightblood either, so...
Yeah, we have no idea if he knows anything about that. I mean, it seemed like the Night Watcher knew about Nightblood, and so presumably Cultivation did. So maybe there's information out there. Maybe Odium knows something, but whether he knew that it was in play here and now. But yeah, the giant stone monster just got disintegrated by one guy with this sword.
Yeah, sure did. Nightblood loved it.
And so what does it say about him? Let's see. She sees the sky resolve in the smoke, glowing white and holding a jet black shard blade. White and black. A man with a shaved head, eyes glowing a light gray. I guess it didn't say what he's wearing. Although she recognizes him immediately as the assassin in white, but she's met him before.
Yeah, they had a good chat.
Oh. And so he says, the Blackthorn assigned you a task? And she's like, yeah, I'm supposed to get this big ruby back. And he goes, all right, our master has given us a task. We shall see it completed. All right, then. Cool. When we get back to it, I love, like, she's like, basically, you go that way and I'll go this way. We got to get away from this dude. But we cut to Navani, who we've left behind for a little while now. And she has gotten grabbed. Or she does get grabbed as we start this. Also, Queen Fen and her consort, Kamakal, they're already grabbed as well, gagged and bound by some Sadeas soldiers. Dude's like, 2 queens. Bright Lord Amaram will enjoy this gift. And so that's not looking good for her either. And we cut to Ash, who, when we saw that Ash was one of the perspective characters, you're like, who the hell is that?
Yeah.
But now we know it is the same person who we saw talking to Mraize in that interlude, was it 2 sections ago? Yeah, with Mem. And so she's gotten information from Mraize about where Talon is, and she has come to find him.
She is the world's worst art critic.
Yep. And we finally get some sort of explanation for why we keep seeing her destroying art.
She hates herself.
Yeah, she sees depictions of herself, and she can't move on until she destroys them. And then she looks out and sees all the soldiers, like, with glowing eyes. She's like, huh, Odium learned to possess men. Well, that's not good. And she's just like, well, this land's finally doomed. Oh, well. Cannot find it within herself to care anymore. But she finds Talon, and we get a little bit of information about him. We've gotten a bit of description before. Dark-skinned. He was the one of the 10 who was never supposed to have borne their burden, and he'd borne it the longest anyway. So, interesting.
Whatever that means.
Yeah, I'd like to know more about that. And then we get Renarin's perspective. Gliss, his spren, had once been a different kind of spren, but he'd been corrupted, changed. Didn't remember that well. It was before they'd bonded. And he can see things that have not happened yet, in like a sequence of stained glass panels that kind of pop up. And he sees Yasna, And Gliss says, she will hurt us. She will hurt us. And he's like, yeah, I know. He secretly learned to read so he could understand the numbers and words that appeared in some of the images. So that's more information that we've known about Renarin. And maybe now it's clear why we didn't get a lot of Renarin perspective up till now, because there was a pretty serious secret hidden. And there's a vision of Yasna killing him, but that's not even the worst one. He sees his father kneeling before a god of gold and white, and he's like, no, father, not that, don't do it. And his friend is like, yeah, I mean, he will not be resisted. I give you my sorrow, Renarin. And we go back to Dalinar and Odium, and Odium's like, you know what? I agree to this contest of champions. I've been preparing my champion for a long, long time. And he's like, Amaram. Him? No. I mean, he's passionate, sure, but no.
Actually, that guy's kind of a loser.
I mean, in some ways, yeah.
Yeah, don't tell him, but I actually secretly hate him. Actually, do tell him. I don't care.
Yeah, no, whatever. And he starts describing the man he needs. Someone who dominates the battlefield like the sun dominates the sky. And the thrill starts creeping in, and Dalinar's getting these memories of his youth. A man who will win no matter the cost. A man who served me all his life. A man I trust. I warned you that I knew you'd make the right decision, and now here we are. And the chapter ends with him saying, take a deep breath, my friend. I'm afraid this will hurt. So yeah, that would have been a worse place to end a section of reading than what we had last time.
Yeah, that would have been... I would have been pissed.
Now wait 4 weeks. Haha.
Because again, I'm just like, I don't get how he can do that. How can you pick your champion as the guy who challenged you? I don't understand. What are the rules?
There are no rules.
I mean,
And there'd be some kind of loophole.
I do wonder, like, can you pick a champion against his will? I mean, if Dalinar agreed to be the champion, then I'd be like, okay, well, I guess you're entitled to choose however you want if they're on board. But yeah, no, it's weird.
I mean, if he bends Dalinar to his will, which is what I think he was trying to do, why couldn't he choose Dalinar?
Well, because Dalinar was the one who made the challenge. It's like,
Yeah, like who's going to fight on the other side?
Yeah, it doesn't matter, though. We all know the sides.
Mm-hmm.
And so the beginning of the next chapter, Dalinar's trying to resist, like, no, you're wrong. And Odium's like, what does she say, Dalinar? And you can hear Evie screaming, don't blame yourself. I made you kill her. I caused all of this. Don't you remember?
Dick move, and I'm not Moash.
And he starts giving him these flashbacks of all these horrible things that happened that he did. He's like, yeah, I was with you. I was there. I was influencing you, making you do these things. Just blame me. You saw red when you did those things. It was my fault. You don't have to hurt. Let me have the pain. Give it to me and never feel guilty again. And we go back to Seth, who's using the sword, and it's screaming in his head, destroy evil. So, same old, same old. And he thinks about, like, my soul's all messed up. I don't know what's right and wrong. But Dalinar, he's a Knight Radiant. He'll know. And the sword is sucking up all his Stormlight real fast. And they're trying to get a hold of that gemstone. And then he loses the sheath for Nightblood during a fight. And so that's not so good.
Yeah, that sheath's kind of important.
And the lady who pulls it off him even blocks Nightblood with the sheath. And he's like, wait, how does that work? And then we go to Yasna's perspective. And Ivory tells her he sees not what is, but what is to come. Odium's power, Yasna. It's like a 1.5 paragraph perspective before we switch again. And then we go back to Ash, who Talon is saying the same thing he says over and over. Back to Kaladin. Say the words, say the words. And then we get Wendell being like, oh, geez, what have we done? And Lift's like, well, we pointed him away from us. What, you want him nearby? Which,
yeah, I mean, it said anyone he nicked with the sword was just popping into smoke. So it's like, yeah, you may not want to be around that. You don't want to catch a stray slash.
But then when things start turning bad for Seth, she does go to try to help. He's like, I've lost the sheath. And she says, drop the sword. And he's like, I can't. It holds on to me. It's going to consume me. And that's when Navani pulls out her, or she has it on her arm, the pain real, which is it incorporated into the... Yeah, it's like incorporated into like the watch device on her arm.
It's a nice concealed weapon you've got there, Navani.
Right? And as Jamie mentioned, it's like she tested the device on herself, of course. So she knew that it felt like 1,000 needles being shoved into your skin, under your nails, into your eyes. Yeah, that doesn't sound fun.
Yeah, it makes your blood run
And you
cold.
can obviously... Oh, yeah. You can obviously survive it, so she hasn't, like, taken them out or anything, but enough to disarm them. That's good. Good idea.
It seems to knock him out for a second because she's like, they're going to recover soon. Come on.
Yeah. Wonder if Dalinar knows if he's got one too. But it also sounds like it's so she's. It was giving me very ferrochemical vibes. She's like drawing her pain into it.
It does seem like that. Like back in, I don't remember if it was book 1 or 2. She showed Adolin the device she came up with that like takes pain away.
Mm.
And so I don't know if it like saves it up after taking it away and then lets it back out again, or is it just like you can make one to take it away and you can make one to add.
I feel like the way she is with Jamie, it's like ferrochemical because I think it says like she turns it or something, and then the pain starts to go away, and it's like storing it up.
Yeah.
So yeah, that definitely feels similar. You're right.
Does that just make it a massive joke on what Dalinar says later? It's like Dalinar's like, you cannot have my pain, and Navani said, you can have mine, chunk.
It was the secret to destroy Odium all along.
Who knew? I'd
Maybe
never considered that.
Here's a crackpot theory. They capture Amaram, lock him up. Navani gives one of these pain reels to Kaladin and says, here, give him your pain. And Kaladin's like, fuck yes.
Have a go.
And I mean, there's physical pain, but the emotional pain that those two would have stored up. Oh, that is a weapon.
I don't know that Kaladin Spran would approve of him like torturing an imprisoned man.
You make a good point, but I choose to ignore that fact on account of the image is funny.
Fair. Yeah, okay. So yeah, she gets them free. I love she's like, after she cuts Fen and Kamako free, she's like, they're gonna recover soon. We may need to dispatch them before that happens. But there's enough other soldiers around. They're like, we got other concerns. And then she sees Dalinar and it says facing something she could barely sense. So whatever Odium looks like to Dalinar, it's a different vision for everyone else around, I guess. And we cut back to Dalinar, who's being forced to relive all this stuff by Odium. He's like, I drove you to do this. It wasn't your fault. And Dalinar has that book, and he's trying to pull it close to himself, and there's a flash of lightning, and the book gets hit. And Odium's like, the words of a man long dead, long failed. Don't worry about that. And then we come back to Teft, which is somebody we haven't seen in a bit. Just for like a few sentences where he's hiding in the darkness and he hears men dying and fighting.
Yeah, it's a real bummer.
The cat.
It's an interesting little bit because Teft is the only one who's not here.
Mm-hmm.
He's back in Urithiru. So it's just kind of like this little reminder, like, by the way, Thaylen City's getting fucked up, but Urithiru is not having a great time either.
Particularly Teft, but yeah, there's stuff going down there for sure. Back to Kaladin, thinking about all the people he's lost. Back to Dalinar, who's feeling the thrill. And he's like, I'm so alone. And Odium's like, no, you're not. You've never been alone. I've always been here. Just let go. Give it all to me. And Seth is being drained by Nightblood, and Lift tries to grab him to help him, and he's like, no, it's going to get you too. And the black veins start moving up her hand. Now she's stuck as well. Yeah, it's really looking dour. Renarin he's like, oh, he's going to fall. He's already fallen. He belongs to the enemy now. And from Odium's perspective, it is now a done deal. Dalinar is slumped, head bowed. And he tells the Fuse, like, okay, it's done. You've got a leader. And the Fuse is like, well, we have to listen to one of them? And Odium don't play. He's like, you will do what the fuck I tell you to do. I don't care for the shape of the tool, only that it cuts.
Yeah. Stick that in your carapace and bond it.
And Amaram shows up with the sheath of Nightblood and is like, hey, I was supposed to deliver this to you, so I guess maybe Odium did know what was up with that.
Oh, yeah. Forgot about that.
And he's like, well done, Meritus. Aberrate, provide this human with an appropriate housing for Yelignar. And they give him a gemstone, and Odium tells him, you swallow this, and it'll give you the power that I promised you. But be warned, the Queen at Kolinar tried this, and the power consumed her. So she's maybe gone now.
Doesn't seem like a massive
Probably
loss,
for the
really.
best.
Yeah.
We talked at the time about like, oh man, is she going to become like a villain, like a recurring? She's going to show up later, and we're going to fight her or something. But I guess she's just gone.
I feel like we'd probably feel this a lot more if we'd seen more of her doing the villainous stuff. But she really only got like a very brief scene at the height of her villainy.
Yeah.
And now she's apparently just died off screen, and the thing that gave her all the power is just like, oh yeah, Amaram's got it now. I'm like, oh, okay.
And Elokar's also
could've
gone.
seen more of her.
He'd be the person who'd cared most about having to fight her, and so
I don't know. Like a duel between Shardblade wielding Yasna and Yelignar powered Aesodan. I would have been here for that.
fair, yeah.
So they've just
And
got to find the little boy now, right?
Yeah, he's still
Yeah.
missing also. And Amaram's over here like, oh, so you've been talking to this guy too? Looking at Dalinar, and Odium's like, longer than I've been talking to you, man. Can I kill him? Someday, assuming I don't let him kill you. So,
Also, you're not my favorite kid, so shut up.
working for Odium is a lot of job security there. Like, yeah, I might let one of you kill the other, whatever.
Doesn't matter which side you pick, Amaram. You're never the favorite.
Apparently.
But it's like, Odium's always talking to Dalinar. It's like, my friend, like, come, we'll do great things together. Amaram shows up. Oh yeah, here's a rock. There you go. Like,
Knock yourself out, bro.
yeah, it's like, man, don't get above yourself, Amaram. You're not better than Dalinar, even to me.
Your second choice to the Queen of Alethkar, who we barely knew and I guess always kind of sucked. So, what does that say about you?
Yeah, even the god of all things evil is just saying, Amaram, you're only second rate, mate.
And he's like, it's done, Dalinar. Your pain is past. Stand up and claim the station you were born to obtain. And we go back to Kaladin, who finds he cannot save the words. Or he cannot say the words. I can't save him. I can't lose him, but I can't save him. And Yasna raises her sword to kill her cousin. And she can't do it. She remembers the trembling child weeping on her shoulder for a father who didn't seem able to feel love. Always so solemn, always misunderstood. And she dismisses her sword and is like, hey, Renard's like, what's wrong with me? Why do I see these things? And she's like, hey, we'll figure it out. Whatever it is, we'll get through this together. And Ivory's kind of shocked. He's like, Yasna, this is right. Somehow it is. It's not what makes sense, and yet it is still right. How is this thing? And weirdly, this is the moment where everything turns. Renard's like, I saw you kill me. And she's like, yeah, no, it's fine. I'm not going to. He's like, yeah, but don't you see what that means? What I see can be wrong. And Dalinar starts remembering words. The most important step a man can take. It's not the first one, is it? It's the next one. Always the next step. And chapter 118 ends with him standing up and saying, you cannot have my pain.
You know what I just realized in this very moment while we're talking about this show is that the book is called Words of Radiance. And he's a radiant. I just put that together. I don't know how important that is, but he's saying words from the book, which is Words of Radiance.
I think he's quoting The Way of Kings.
Oh, that's right. What's the Word of Radiance book again?
Words of Radiance was what Yasna gave Shallan to read last book, and it talked about the different radiant orders, if I'm remembering right, and that's why it was Words of Radiance.
Well, maybe it's also tells you what gives you the basics of what the words are supposed to be, because either words, and it seems to me words are slightly different for like not just orders, but each person, right? Like the words have to also mean something to the person, because what Teft starts to say is different from what Kaladin says.
Yeah, it's similar, but definitely different.
I mean, that sort of ties in with, the Skybreakers, like Nail was saying to Seth. It's like you can choose to follow certain laws. You don't have to commit. Like you choose your ideal, like the one that makes sense to you.
Yeah, we didn't get to hear what Seth said, by the way. I wanted to hear what he said.
He's supposed to swear to follow something, and he seems to indicate that he's chosen Dalinar. So I assume.
Right, but we didn't get to hear like the actual words.
No, we didn't.
Yeah.
And then I don't remember if we've ever had a change mid-part about what the epigraphs were.
But
we started out with stuff from the Isla Stelle, and then we switched to the Way of Kings postscript.
Oh.
As I began my journey, I was challenged to defend why I insisted on traveling alone. They called it irresponsible, an avoidance of duty and obligation. Those who said this made an enormous mistake of assumption. What that mistake was, we don't know. Maybe it'll come up the next time. And we get Odium's like, wait, what? And Dalinar says, you cannot have my pain. And he's like, no, Dalinar, come on, be sensible. I killed those children. No, I burned the people of Rithalis. Well, I was there influencing you. And he's just like, no, you cannot have this. It hurts so much, but I made those choices. You might have been there. You might have been nudging me or whatever, but it was my choice. It has to be, because if I pretend that I didn't do it, then it means I can't have grown and become something else.
Yeah. fuck, just this bit got me.
Yep. And he says his next oath, I will take responsibility for what I've done. If I must fall, I will rise each time a better man. And we cut to Renarin and Yasna, who are running, not through the streets that are clogged with people. She's leaping across buildings. And Renarin's like, Yasna, I can't keep up. And she's like, yeah, sure you can. You're a Knight Radiant. And there's hundreds of glory spren streaming past. He's like, I don't know what I am. And she's like, I know what you are. You're my cousin, family. Hold my hand, run with me. And all the glory spren, it says thousands of them, are surrounding Dalinar. Odium stumbles back and he thinks, so small. Has he always looked that small? Dalinar thinks of Odium. And then I love the moment with Syl where something starts to happen and Syl goes, maybe you don't have to save anyone, Kaladin. Maybe it's time for someone to save you. Which it's nice that he gets that chance. And we get Dalinar perspective, unite them. And he reaches his hands out and it says he's touching something vast. Something that's not even here. It's everywhere at once. And all the fused are backing up. And there's one parshwoman remaining. And she's like, what are you? Presumably that's Fenley. I mean, it doesn't say. But and then he hears a woman's voice. So familiar. I forgive you. And he says, I am unity. And slams his hands together, combining all three realms into one.
Yeah, he's the famous Rick James song.
So the famous Operation Ivy song.
Yeah, I like Rick James better because he punched Charlie Murphy in the head with a ring that said Unity on it.
All right, fair enough.
Hard to beat that. And from their perspective in Shadesmar, a pillar of light appears in the middle of the sea. And Syl says it's honor's perpendicularity, a pathway home. Whatever it is also affects Talon because suddenly he seems lucid. He says, Ash, how long? And she's like, I'm so sorry. They say it's been 4 millennia. I don't always note the passing of time. And she's apologizing profusely. And he's like, what a wonderful thing. What a gift you gave them. Time to recover for once. To progress. She's just like, no, you can't be like this. Like, you cannot be this understanding. She wants him to be pissed off. To, be furious at them for what they did.
This guy's just like, this big, muscly Schwarzenegger dude is just channeling his inner Paddington. And just going, oh, this is wonderful.
I love that comparison. That's great. When you, the big muscly dude being nice made me think of the guy from the Boiling Rock who's just like, hey, that hurt my feelings.
Yeah.
I mean, he does have statues of himself like that in a train station in England.
True.
And she's like, no, don't be like this. You have to hate me. Please hate me. And Talon goes, come, he's waiting. And she says, who? And he says, I don't know. And we go to Teft, whose Spren is talking to him. Can you feel the words? And he says, I'm broken. And she, yeah, who isn't? Life breaks us, Teft, and then we fill the cracks with something stronger. That's what the words are about. And he says, I will protect those I hate, even if the one I hate most is myself.
Damn.
Yeah. So, similar to when Kaladin decided to protect Elokar, but clearly a different meaning for Teft than what it meant for Kaladin. And we go back to Yasna and Renarin, who are still rushing towards the battle, and there's a bunch of guys with swords and stuff. And Yasna, it says, she shoves her hand against one of them, turns him into crystal, and he flies back into the next guy, who also transforms into crystal. And it's like a domino effect with them falling over and hitting other guys who are then catch the crystallization, which is insanity. Like, I don't know how that works.
Yeah, it doesn't make a lot of sense, but for what we've seen so far, but I'm here for it.
Yeah, it's like, it may not make a lot of sense, but you know what? It's fucking cool.
Yeah. We get Navani and Fen and them looking at what's happening, and Navani's really excited. And then Odium screams, no, we killed you. We killed you. Which just opens up another several questions. Who is it that was killed, and who is we in this statement?
Well, I assume that he's yelling at honor because was it Syl said this is honor's perpendicularity that they're climbing up. So it's like, does he think honor is reborn?
That was definitely my first thought as well. But then that means that Odium had help taking out honor?
Yes, that's concerning.
Could be autonomy. She's always got her fingers in some pies.
Maybe.
Or like to throw the dark option out there, maybe cultivation got sick of like what honor had done to her planet by with the people.
Ooh, that would be dark. She is
Yeah.
the other shard around. And Odium's just like, kill him, get him. And while Venli does not move, Amaram is like, okay. And he summons his shard blade. And Dalinar tries to be like, hey man, you can change too. You can be a better person just like I did. And Amaram says, no, he'll never forgive me. And Dalinar's like, who, the bridgeman? No, not him. And he taps his own chest. Him. I'm sorry, Dalinar.
Oh, the fucking this guy bringing out the third person in a moment like this. Fuck out of here, Amaram.
I feel like it is a weird thing to say. You when you could have just said like I can't forgive myself or whatever. Like it's like he's just intentionally trying to be vague, so somebody has to ask the clarifying question.
Yeah. Just really?
The CinemaSins guy calls it playing the pronoun game.
That was a Chasing Amy thing, wasn't it?
I don't remember. It's been a while since I saw Chasing Amy. Actually,
What'd you say?
The pronoun game. I'm pretty sure that's the earliest I ever heard it referred to as such.
Hmm.
And then just as he's Amaram, if you'll recall, has Oathbringer. That's the shard blade that he summons here.
It's also the title of the book.
That's true. We saw Dalinar give it to Ialai. I don't know that we knew Amaram had it since then, since he had his own. But
Wait, so this asshole's dual wielding now.
I guess so.
Oh, can you bond with two?
Well, I guess you can. I mean, Elhokar had a few that he like rented out, didn't he?
Yeah, Elhokar had his, and he had his dad's that he let other people use.
So
So
But
presumably
was
that.
he bonded to it?
That's a fair question. I don't know.
I guess if you were lending it to people to use, though,
Hmm.
you'd kind of want to be bonded to it.
So they don't run off with it, yeah.
Yeah. They don't bond with it themselves. I
Yeah.
don't know.
Huh. That's a good question. You'd think if you could use two, people would use two at times. Like the richest, like someone like
Yeah.
Elhokar who has two, you'd think that he. I don't know. But just as he's swinging for Dalinar, it says a bit of the light, this column of light, breaks off and meets the shard blade and tosses Amaram backwards, and then resolves itself into a man with shoulder-length wavy hair, a blue uniform, and a silvery spear. And then Shallan comes out, and then blessedly Adolin appears. And we come back to Lift, who, oh right, Lift and Seth are dying. That's not good. But somehow, when... Well, okay, so earlier, the Gemstone Reserve got broken into by the Giant Thunderclass to steal the one gem. So gems were thrown all over the place. And then when Dalinar opened up this perpendicularity, the gems got infused with Stormlight. So now the whole ground is covered with Stormlight, essentially. And that gives Seth a way
Convenient.
to... Yeah, very convenient, right? That gives Seth a way to slake the thirst of the sword. And the veins of blackness retract and Lift can pull away. And she hears the voice in her head, I knew I liked you. And she's like, what? You almost ate him. You almost ate me. He's like, oh, I wouldn't do that. But maybe I was just really, really hungry.
Maybe we've been thinking the wrong way about a voice for Nightblood. Maybe he just needs to be voiced by Mr. Popo from Dragon Ball Abridged.
That
Bye.
deeply disturbing. Okay.
Yeah, it fits.
And then Seth kind of picks himself up and dusts himself off and like, hey, let's go over there with see what's up with Dalinar. And Dalinar is watching the column of light. Is Elhokar going to come out? Because he doesn't know Elhokar is dead. But no one else does. And he's like, oh man, the king's not coming, is he? And the Stormfather's like, a direct conduit to the spiritual realm. You renew spheres, Dalinar? Like, he's shocked by what is happening. And Dalinar's like, well, I mean, yeah, we're connected.
Dalinar's like, Stormfather, what's going on? And Stormfather's like, and Dalinar, I will be completely honest with you. I am just as in the dark as you are right now.
Yeah. Dalinar, I'll tell you one thing that I do know. I don't know anything.
And then everyone kind of shows up. Yasna and Renarin shows up, and Renarin starts to heal his brother. And Dalinar's like, oh crap, Adolin was wounded? Okay, well, good. All right.
There's a lot going on right now. What's happening?
And Lift is here. And Dalinar's like, I expected Lift. I mean, I saw her, but the assassin. So Dalinar at least has met Seth before. So
Yeah, Dalinar has. Dalinar and Kaladin and Adolin have all met him. They know who he is.
And Dalinar's counting off the orders in his mind. Like, you know, Kaladin's not Skybreaker, jeez. Windrunner. I can talk. Lightweaver. Skybreaker is Seth. I don't know how he knows Seth is a Skybreaker, but he knows. Edge Dancer. There's 7. But there should have been 3 more, right? There's 10 orders. And the Stormfather goes, there, behind your niece. And there is Talon and Ash, although he does not know that's who they are. And the Stormfather's like, I know them from a long time ago. Dalinar, you're in the presence of divinities. And he's like, yeah, I'm getting used to it. And Odium has taken off, but all the troops are still here. The Fused are here, Amaram's troops, that real weird Spren, the one like black smoke. Beyond it, the Thrill is still encompassing the entire north side of the battlefield. And Dalinar's like, we still got a lot to take on. Hey, hold on. 7 and 2 is just 9. Isn't there supposed to be 10? And the Stormfather's like, yeah, I don't know. Maybe that order hasn't been found yet, or I don't know, something.
Except we know who's missing. Taravangian's Shardbearer, who was Dustbringer? Dust something?
Yeah.
Dustbringer. Yep, that is one of them.
I mean, I don't know who Talon
One
and
of
Ash are like which orders they're supposed to fill.
Yeah, I was about to say, we don't know for sure which orders they would represent in this whole thing.
With a name like Ash, I mean, it's got to be Dust, right?
Oh, that's a good point. I didn't consider that.
No, I'm making a joke. I don't think her name has anything to do with it.
Might.
I think Nail said that he was the only one who of the heralds who eventually joined their own orders. So, but does it count?
But they still have the order. They just didn't.
Yeah,
join them.
if they're still representative of the order. Yeah. Anyway, Kaladin's like, so what are we gonna do here? What's going on? I just got here. And Dalinar says the enemy is trying to crush the city. We're gonna hold it. And Yasmin's like, with 7 of us. She doesn't see Ash and Talon or know that they're relevant either. Uncle, that appears to be a tall order, even if one of us is apparently the storming assassin in white. And Seth's like, I serve Dalinar Kholin. I cannot know truth, so I follow one who does. And I feel like everyone's
cool.
everyone's like, okay.
So look, we got bigger problems right now.
Yeah, I don't know if I approve this, but all right. I guess we'll take all the help we can get.
I certainly would at this point, yeah. And Shallan's like, well, okay, whatever we're going to do, we should hurry up. And so Dalinar starts giving orders. Renarin, you get to the Oathgate, stop the Thunderclast from destroying it, and open the portal. Good luck with that. Shallan, lightweave us up an army to keep these soldiers busy. Yasna, the city we're defending happens to have a big storming hole in the wall. Can you hold that? And she nods. He's like, okay. And Kaladin says, what about me? And Dalinar goes, points at Amaram. He's going to try to kill me for what I do next. I could use a bodyguard. As I recall, you have a score to settle with him. Lift, I already gave you an order. You and the assassin get me the ruby. And she's like, oh, hey, could you tell me where to get some food first? He's like, yeah, sure. There's a supply dump right there. Okay.
Again, it's like, I don't quite know why you need this, but I'm going to trust that you do. Go there.
We know why.
I love that he's not going to question it. I mean, he thinks in his head, like, really? But he's just like, it's going to be less trouble to just go with it.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, in there.
Once again, bigger issues.
Or maybe he legitimately is like, I trust that she knows how to prioritize these things. So, okay. If she says that she wants this, maybe there's a good reason for it. Let's just go. And then Cal's like, okay, but what are you going to do? And the chapter ends with him saying, the enemy brought a very big stick to this battle, Captain. I'm going to take it away. And if you guys saw on the page after that, there's a map of Thaylen City with some notes about this particular battle, which is pretty neat. But that is the end of our chapters. So for next time, we are reading 1 chapter. The first time we've ever read 1 chapter. As I previously mentioned, despite it being 1 chapter, it is longer than either Six of the Dusk or Shadows for Silence. So it's longer than any section of this book we've read so far. So you guys will not be wanting for content, but it is just 1 chapter, chapter 120. And that chapter is called The Spear That Would Not Break. So predicaments. What do you guys think? What's going to happen? We have exactly 3 chapters, an epilogue, and an end note left in this book. Where are we going? What's going to happen? What do you guys think?
Oh, man. Well, originally I was like saying it's going to be kind of an Empire ending with some down notes and the heroes lose, but now our heroes look like they might win. So I'm going to say that Dalinar is able to hold back Odium, but he's not going to be defeated here, because then what would happen in the next 2 books? But yeah, I think we're going to be able to stave off and hold Thaylen City back from the horde that is Odium. What that means for the overall story going forward, I don't know. We've got confirmation that from Odium in this chapter that Elokar's wife, basically took Odium's power by swallowing a gem. So we kind of already knew there was some bad juju going on there, but now we kind of know where it originated from. And I like how he hands one to Amaram. He's like, swallow it. And Amaram's like, what? Yeah, swallow it. Power. He's like, oh, okay. So I think Amaram might try to swallow this gem before Kaladin is able to kill him, which might make things a little difficult for Kaladin. But I think he will rise over Amaram and defeat him, because Kaladin cool, Amaram sucks. Screw Amaram, all that. I don't think Moash is going to show up here. I'm going to say he's still in the Kolinar area. I hope he does not show up here. I don't think that will happen, because he sucks and everybody hates him. And yeah, I don't know if Teft is going to be able to turn the tide on Urithiru by saying the words. I hope that's the case. I hope he's up there and all of a sudden he's like, I've got power, and saves all his friends up on Urithiru. That would just be swell. But yeah, other than that, I don't have a lot of ideas, just because, like I said before in the episode, I'm kind of just along the ride at this point. I'm just excited to finish the book and see what happens, and kind of where we sit as we go into book 4. What is that going to look like?
Yeah, it's a good question of however this ends clearly has to set us up for going into the next book. And so, yeah, what does that look like? We're apparently in a war now.
Yeah, no, I too am just let's just ride this out, because I have no further idea where this is going. I think at some point on the battlefield, if Nail's going to double down on, joining the Singers, and following them, then I like to think that maybe he'll bump into Ash and Talon, and maybe that'll just further the division between the Heralds, because that would be crazy. So we'll see where that goes. I don't really have much else. I had a note that's all right, Yasna's gonna hold the hole in the wall. Maybe she'll just fill that hole with crystalline bodies of her enemies. Wouldn't that be swell?
I'm on board. Yeah.
Yeah. Every 5th body that comes along, she turns into mortar to fill the gaps.
That's hardcore, but I'm okay with it.
Yeah. But yeah, I don't really have much else, because I'm just shit, let's just ride this out, because this is bonkers. And we're already past the point of where I was making predictions before, so I don't know what else to add.
Fair. Yeah. Okay. And yeah, we're trying to predict one chapter for now, but I guess, through the end of the book, and it's, Joe made a point that I think a lot of people were predicting that we might be getting a very downer Empire style ending, but this last chapter seems to have maybe turned that around a little bit. So,
yeah, it's probably not going to be a bloodless ending, but it does seem like it's going to be I would agree with Joe. I don't think it's going to end in Odium being destroyed utterly, but he's at least, he's already lost his challenge. He picked Dalinar to be his champion, and Dalinar overcame what Odium was throwing at him. So Odium can't leave the planet now. He's still stuck here. So maybe he's just gonna take his shit and try and break everything in retaliation, but he's still stuck on Roshar. He can't leave now, because Dalinar won the challenge.
Yeah, I guess that's actually a good point. I'm not sure we know the status of the challenge, because Odium was like, I pick you as my champion, and I guess Dalinar was like, no, or because Dalinar's side has not. If Dalinar is the champion for Odium, Dalinar's side has not picked a champion, unless Dalinar is the champion for both, and then does he have to fight himself, or are you allowed to say
kind of
no?
already has.
Okay, that's true. He fought within himself. That's a good point.
Yeah, it's done. So, it just seems like you lost your opportunity there, Odium. Your plan is finished, and now you're just trying to kill everyone on the way out.
Well, but the deal was, if Odium wins, he gets to go free. If he loses, then they get their lives. So he can't kill them if he lost.
Good point. Maybe he's going to be all right, I won't kill you directly, but my minions can still do it. because Odium seems like,
Yeah.
wild hunch here. Odium seems like a sore loser.
Yeah, no, I could see that. All right. Yeah. I wouldn't put it past him for sure.
Hmm.
I feel like gods in general probably don't have a lot of experience losing. Maybe that's not true, but I feel like
Well-
it's not the kind of thing they get used to.
I mean, yeah, we're in the situation because Odium must have lost something before, because otherwise he wouldn't have been bound to the planet.
Oh, fair. Yeah, that's true. So maybe he is getting used to it. Maybe he'll be magnanimous in defeat, except that he yelled at his people to kill Dalinar already. So
Yep.
Oh, yeah. So I think I agree that we're probably not going to see much more of Odium in this book. I think that particular battle was for another time. He's gone away to lick his wounds. He's going to throw Yelignar everyone's way. Awesome. If they're going to fight Amaram, if he does take in that power, force being, I feel like maybe doing that while the bond is new is probably better for them. I mean, who knows what would happen? Like Elhakar's wife, Aesudan, had the run of Kholinar and was kind of able to let that fester and obviously became a really big problem. I don't know how Amaram or how it would manifest in Amaram and what he would do about that, but I feel like if you're going to have a chance at it, it's probably early. So I think that's probably more what we're looking at to the close of this book. How that plays out, I don't know. Dropping into the next book mid-conflict, I sort of don't see happening. It'll go one way or the other, but I'm really not sure. Our missing Radiant, yeah, like could be Malada, but I was sort of thinking it would be more Teft to be able to join that party. And who knows, maybe our other was Ash and Town will maybe join there, or can you join an order that's not founded yet? I don't know. So I'm kind of interested to see how that dynamic plays out across the 10. I don't think it's as simple as, oh, we've got all of the orders, because obviously Renarin's got some stuff going on. He's bonded, but it's different. We've got Lift with Windle, and it's like, yes, they're bonded, but is it the same? Like they've got more of a tie to cultivation, I think, than to honor. So I don't know enough about how it all fits together to work out whether they've actually got a complete cohort here or there's more happening. I don't know. It's weird to be sort of 3 books in and go, I still don't really know what's going on here. I'd really like to have some answers of why sort of things have played out the way that they have. So more questions than predictions. I think the big one that I was thinking about this week was Dalinar's words, I am unity. Unity was capitalized.
Mhm.
So I thought that he's now got Honor's power. Like that, yes, he's the bondsmith, but he's holding more than that. Much how sort of Sazed had ruin and preservation and became harmony. I feel like this puts Dalinar kind of at that god status. One of the 16. It's maybe presenting different to Honor, but it definitely puts him up there with cultivation and odium in my thinking at the moment. So I'd like to see how this plays out for Dalinar. Now, is this ongoing ability that he's got, or he's like opened Honor's perpendicularity and now just becomes the bondsmith again? Like, I don't really know how that's going to work for him, but I think there's a lot more power coming his way, and it'd be interesting to see what else he can do, or what we haven't known about all this time. Because even the Stormfather's going, oh, I'm a little out of my depth here. I feel like if he knew something, that was sort of the moment to say it. He seemed, wow, you can do this? Like no one can do this. What? So new territory for Dalinar, but new territory for a lot of them, I think, at this point. Probably new territory for Odium. Kind of pissed off that they've killed the body of Honor, but the power has still been there somewhere. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm glad that you pointed out the unity is capitalized. It seems like there must be some significance there. So maybe you're right. Maybe he is elevated to some sort of level there, whether
Ah.
that means permanently or in that moment or
Mm.
what. But yeah, something more is happening than I feel like what we're seeing for sure.
I'd like to think it's ongoing because the words were accepted. Even Stormfell's like, yep, yep, the words are accepted. I don't know why. Sure.
He was very confused about it with the Stormfather when he accepted these words, but they were accepted. Yep.
Mm.
So it could be interesting going forward. Like, what does that mean for Dalinar and what he can do? Maybe we'll find out before this book ends if he's got some cool new powers from
Yeah,
whatever the heck that was.
maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
At the very least, he was able to open that perpendicularity and let people pass between the realms and energize all those gemstones. So if that's a thing he can do
Mm.
regularly, that by itself would be pretty amazing. If that wasn't a one-off.
Yeah.
If you want to go to Shadesmark, clap your hands.
Okay.
Oh, that's the one that makes him sigh in disapproval.
No, it's just like I don't know where to go with that. All right.
I know he wasn't disapproving, but it was just that sound of like
Finally got him.
Oh my gosh. Okay. Let's do some emails, y'all. We've got several emails now since we went like 4 weeks. So let's see. This one is from the folks at Always Another Podcast. We got a very brief email now that we've learned about humanity's true origins when it comes to Roshar. The email is titled "Surprising Yet Inevitable," and it says the entire first 3 books of the Stormlight Archive. And then in quotes, this is Shinovar. It has, quote, normal plants and animals that match what you expect from Earth. It's so drastically different from all the rest of Roshar that everyone in universe thinks it's incredibly weird and bizarre. And then me. Neat. Anyway, so just highlighting the fact that from the beginning that was strange, and we're just like, whatever. Everything's weird here.
Yeah, it's never really focused that much upon.
No, it's touched on several times where it's like, yeah, all the normal stuff is there, or all the stuff that we would think of as normal. I was the same way the first time I read it, where I was just like, yeah, that's weird. Whatever, moving on. Brandon writes weird shit on these planets. What are you gonna do?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like we poked fun in the aspect of like all the crab stuff because it's like clear there's a lot of like weird like rock crustacean stuff going on, and that's kind of how we've dealt with the weirdness is just like focusing on the crab aspect.
Oh, crabby.
Crab and the Spren.
Oh, the Spren are just from the beginning. It's like, what is all of this stuff? Because they're just everywhere. The next one is from Angela 2. We heard from her not long ago. It says, moments that stick with you. Hi, Sanderlanche crew. A while back, you had a conversation about those emotional moments in books that really stick with you, and you've finally gotten to one of mine. The girl who stood up scene is one that I will never forget. It was so powerful the first time I listened to it because I had been going through some very hard things at that point in my life, and the things Wit told Shallan were exactly what I needed to hear. I wasn't listening to an audiobook in that moment. He was speaking directly to me. I was at my desk working, and when Shallan and Wit parted ways, I realized that at some point I'd frozen and started crying. I keep my journals decorated with quotes that speak to me, and I have several Sanderson quotes, including the one from this scene. Live and let your failures be part of you. I still haven't gotten all caught up on the show, but maybe next time I write in, I will be. Wasn't to the time of next and all that jazz from Angela. So that's cool.
Yeah, the power of books.
No joke.
Also, again, relevant. Live and let your failures be part of you. Well, that's what Dalinar does here.
That is exactly, yeah. He's
Yep.
like, you can't take this. They're my failures. This one is from Vernon, and the title is My First Email. Once upon a time, there was a wife who bet her husband he couldn't finish a book by the end of the week. She was right, but he couldn't let her be, so he dived deep into the abyss of YouTube pirated audiobooks, hoping to listen to the last few chapters he needed to read. Instead, he found a great podcast he wasn't expecting to find. Spoiler alert, I am that husband. I found this podcast when I was slogging through Well of Ascension and was hooked since then. After that, I've been following along through the Cosmere. At this point, I'm halfway through Shadows of Self and figured it was time I sent my email to the crew. I love the dynamic the 4 of you bring, and I love reading along with Joe, Dak, and Jamie and hearing the predictions you guys come up with, even when I get a few right myself. I was going to wait to email until I caught up, but that'll be a while. Thank you for the awesome podcast. So I wonder
Well
if
of Ascension? Was
Yeah,
that the
that's what he
book?
said.
Like you can like
That was second book we read, right?
It was.
It was.
We
Gosh,
read
like-
the short thing in between them, or no?
Yeah, the 11th Metal we read in between.
That's what
Yeah.
it was.
But also, it's like, man, like I like to think I read fast, but I could not finish Well of Ascension inside a week. It's not a small book.
I feel the way that it sounded to me was that he was in this book, but he was like kind of having trouble finishing it, and his wife's like, "I bet you can't finish the rest of that book by the end of the week."
Oh, okay. Yeah, that makes
Yeah.
sense.
I might be wrong, but that's what I took from it.
Yeah, look, it's not always easy. It's been easier for me to consume this book, I think, these books in the way that we do. The cliffhanger part sucks, right? Like I can only read to a certain point, but I find myself like I'll read like halfway through a book and then I'll put it down because I get busy and then I never pick it up again. So I feel like this has actually been a sustainable thing, right? It's like I'm only allowed to read so much, so it's like, oh, I got to stop, and then the show's coming up next week. It's like, oh, I get to read some more.
Yeah.
So in that way, I think the podcast has helped me like actually complete books because I'm notorious for like picking up a book, starting it, and then not finishing it.
I have
Yeah.
trouble doing that.
I think the pace we did the podcast, it helps me remember more of what happens in the books because these books
Yeah.
are so massive and so dense and so much happens in it. The fact that we only read bit by bit means like I only remember I remember a lot more of it than if I just read it all in a big chunk.
Yeah, that's true too.
That's good. I'm always worried that, with how long it is between stuff, it's already a lot to remember something. We're talking about when Felt showed up. You're like, that was a character in the second book we read now like 5 years ago or something. So it's hard to remember stuff from that long ago.
Yeah,
And so-
I mean characters. Yes, it is hard to remember characters sometimes that only show up once in a while.
Especially like the little bit parts like that guy.
Yeah.
Right. But at the same time, like Data's here to be like, hey, remember this guy? And we're like, oh yeah.
Yeah, I always feel like you guys may be getting shortchanged some on, even since the beginning of this book. It's been a long time since we started this book. And so, if there were stories in most of the time when you're reading a book, if there's a story detail brought in the first quarter of the book that pays off in the last 10th of the book or whatever, you're not going to have that much trouble remembering it. But when that first quarter was something we read like 6 months ago, well, maybe. Okay, let's do one more. This one is from Magnus. It says, hello, is this thing on? Hey guys, just wanted to chime in and say I really enjoy listening to the podcast. I just picked up the Mistborn trilogy and reading through it for the first time. Having the podcast as a companion piece as I go through the chapters is great. Anyways, I hope this reaches you as I got this email address from one of your early episodes from 2020. Cheers and Happy New Year's from Northern Norway. From Magnus.
Yeah. We haven't changed the email, thankfully.
Nope, email's still there.
Yep.
See you in 200 episodes, Magnus.
Woohoo!
Yeah, I'm like, I hope that someday you
Yeah.
do indeed hear your email read.
Yeah, that's true. I just, Data was saying, man, this book's taken us a long time. I went back and looked just because I was curious. We started this book in early April of last year.
Yeah.
I'm gonna email Magnus back to let him know that we read his email on the show, since who knows if he'll ever get this far.
I mean, even Vernon said, like, he's only up to Shadows itself. He's got a bit of a
Right.
slog ahead of him. Well, not a slog, but he's got a long time before you'll hear his email.
You heard it first. Dak thinks our show is a slog.
What this is gonna be episode 265. I'm telling him. We read your email on episode 265.
Yeah, man. Man, we're getting close to 300.
Yeah.
Look at us go.
It's crazy. All right.
I mean, a couple of months we'll have been doing this for 6 years.
Oh,
Ugh,
geez.
Wow.
Don't say that. Don't say that.
And we still have at least a couple of Stormlight books to go. The other ones should go relatively quickly. It's these Stormlight ones that just freaking take us forever. All right. Well, we've still got several emails, but we'll save some for later. We appreciate you guys. Thanks for the emails. If you'd like to send us an email, the address is thesanderlanche@gmail.com. It has indeed not changed since we started the show. So it's probably the best way to go about it. I'm glad I didn't use Hotmail or something. I don't think I've ever been able to hold a Hotmail account this long without them randomly shutting it down for some reason.
Really?
That's weird. I've had my Hotmail account since I was 10, and it's still my active email.
Yeah, my wife said that she's had hers for
Dang.
30 years, but I don't know what it is. Every time I've tried to use a Hotmail email, like a year or two in, they're just like, yeah, we shut your email address down, even if I'm using it regularly.
That's
And-
so weird.
They
That is
never give a
strange.
reason, even if I emailed the thing and it's like, well, we have the right to stop letting you use email for whatever reason whenever we feel like. I'm like, awesome, thanks.
That's crazy.
It's happened at least 3 different times, so that's why I don't use Hotmail anymore. Not even as a secondary.
Yeah, I don't think you can
Jesus.
even get a Hotmail account anymore.
Oh, really?
I think it's all done through Live.
Yeah.
Grandfathered in all the
Right, all the
Ah.
peoples that
Hotmail
are
businesses.
still on it. Yeah.
Just to mix things up, we use mail.com on Don't Gaslight Me, Jesus. So I've always liked the idea of just mail, or originally it was email.com. And I used to have an email address there a very long time ago. Anyways, that's our email address. You can find us on Instagram and Facebook and places like that. Also on Patreon, where Christmas and New Year's have slowed me up a little bit, and we missed a couple of weeks of updating the Patreon with me reading through not Six to the Dusk, Isles of the Emberdark, the sequel. Well, I say sequel. The short story is included in there as flashbacks, so it's not even really a sequel. But if you're interested in that sort of thing, check that out. Hold on. I should check our Patreon and see if there's anybody new this in the last 4 weeks, right? I think there probably is. So if you're interested in hearing my reactions as I'm reading that sort of thing for the first time, check out our Patreon. You can join there, just like these people did. When was the last time we recorded? There's at least one new person. I'm trying to decide if there's 2. Yes. All right. We've got 1 new patron since we last went through. This one at the ska level is Pedro.
Pedro, you are a wind whisperer. You store 10. Those
Very
senses.
nice. Yeah, senses. I am still suspecting that is what allows you to not feel pain if you can store pain. So that would be a very useful one in that way, probably. It's kind of like Navani has in this book. See, it all just like Jamie said. It's ferrochemically, ferrochemy-ish. That's what I'm gonna go with. Thank you, Pedro. If anyone else wants to join our Patreon, Joe will assign you a faring power, and if you leave us a 5-star review on the podcast platform of your choice and send us an image of that in an email, Joe will assign you a misting power. If you do both, you can be a twinborn, just like Miles 100 Lives.
Yeah.
Or Wayne, or whoever.
Yeah. Somebody who we like and isn't dead.
Well, Wayne.
Whoa.
Anyway.
Yeah, spoiler. But, if you're this far into the show, you should have already known that.
Well, I was going to say Wayne's debatable on both of those counts. There were some people who were not huge fans of Wayne, and also R.I.P.
Ironically, I was a very big fan of Miles. I really like that guy.
He's pretty cool, if evil.
No,
Yeah.
he's a villain, but like villains could still, be fun
Yeah.
and interesting, and like, you know what? I don't agree with like all of his methodology, but he makes some good points.
Yeah.
He's-
Just look at all the Gary Oldman villains from the 90s and 2000s.
Like Zorg?
Yeah.
I don't know that he had a lot of good points, but
No. I mean, he was mainly just scared of the big black thing.
Jean-Baptiste Emmanuel Zorg. Anyway, let's not. Thank you.
Wait,
Thank
wait.
you, everybody.
One more
Sorry,
time.
go
One more time. What's his character in Leon the Professional's name? That guy's
Not Leon.
that guy's real bad.
Norman Stansfield.
Yeah, that guy.
Mansfield.
Good old Stansfield. When you look up Leon the Professional on Google on my phone anyway, the first thing that comes up is a clip of him screaming in that one scene, so it's great.
Oh, yep. I know exactly which one you mean too.
I've never watched it.
Yeah, you gotta watch it at least once.
It's a good
Maybe
movie.
sometime. I've heard positive things. Just never gotten around to it. All right. But thank you, everybody. Thank you to our new patron, our emailers. We appreciate you guys. Thank you to everyone who just comes and listens to us ramble every week. It's a lot of fun. Hope you guys enjoy it too. Remember, we're doing one entire chapter for next time, chapter 120, a very long chapter. So if you're reading along, that is the one to read. One
Yeah, it's
chapter
like
for next
50
time.
pages.
Yeah, when I opened my Kindle to the next page, it said like 57 minutes. I was like, holy cow.
How long in minutes does it usually take you for one of the sections that we read?
So this last time, I think it said 18, 11, and maybe 16 minutes, but it was... I usually read slightly faster than whatever that pace is.
Yeah. Okay. Interesting. I don't know how long it takes me to read these things. I've never paid much attention to that. But yeah, one chapter for next time. Music by Miracle of Sound. And Wasn't the Time of Next. Colo? PS Fasher. Haha, I'm still.
Corona's wide, supernovas die, fractured in the fateful fall of man. Feel the heart raging of a strength unseen. Unity will bring the upper hand.